All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Charissa, and I am here with Stacey.
Hi!
With your fun hair, so much more fun.
My crazy hair. My
I
crazy
love
hair.
it. I love it. I want to live in your hair for one whole
Sure,
day.
come on. There's plenty of room.
Oh, with you in it still. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'll live in your hair with you in it.
There you go.
So we are here with Charm City Readers, and we are a Facebook reader community. And we're going to talk tonight with Stacey about Sea Glass made with. Oh, is it made? Is it made? It is made. Oh, I thought I wrote it wrong on the thing. Sea Glass made with second chances and lots of other things.
Yeah.
Other things. So that's just our intro. But before we talk about any books, I'm going to do a lightning round because that's what I like to do.
Okay.
And it's like a this or that. So I'm going to give you options and you tell me which.
Okay.
Okay. Physical book or ebook when you're reading?
Physical.
Physical, always. I haven't had one person say ebook. Audio, I still ask though, right? Because someone will surprise me.
Yeah, of course.
Audiobook, yes or no?
Only for memoir.
What? That's a thing?
For me, it is. I can only listen to memoir. I can't listen to any other genre, or sometimes self-help.
Really? Okay, that is so interesting.
Yeah.
Do you read one book at a time or multiple?
No more than 2 usually.
2. I've done 3. It's like rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is rough. What is your favorite genre to write?
Well, my favorite genre to write is really commercial women's fiction. So I like the whole woman's journey and reinventing herself. So all of my characters are older and need to start over.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of romance in it. It's just not traditional contemporary romance. So that's what I like to write the most.
Do you have a favorite romance subgenre?
Romantic suspense.
Ooh, romantic. Is that a thing? There's so many. There's so many.
But that's a real one because I know they make some up, but that's a real one.
Well, our friend Jean Burgess, she didn't write romance, but there wasn't a niche for her, so she made up a genre.
There you go.
Yeah, retro fiction.
I love it.
Fiction, retro. Yeah, so we can do whatever we want.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite genre to read?
That's a very good question. I actually love reading mystery, thriller, suspense more than anything.
Really, but not write it. Have you tried writing it?
Well, my romantic suspenses fall into that realm. And then I tend to pace the end of my books like a thriller. So I do that. And there's always usually some kind of mystery thing going on in my book. So I haven't written a straight like thriller or suspense, but I'm pretty close. We've got murder and...
But the main 2 characters can't like murder each other or kidnap each
other.
Right? Or maybe they can. They can kidnap each other and then fall in love.
They could. Anything is possible. Well, that'd be a tough one to pull off, but you never know.
I think most women would be like, nah. Yeah. We'd be like, that wouldn't work. Yeah. Okay.
That really work. Well, I don't know. Give him $1 million and
I can fall in love with anyone. Spoken like true women. All right. So would you say your books are more character driven or plot driven?
Character driven.
And do you prefer that when you read as well?
I believe all books are character driven.
Okay. All right. Well, we can get to that later.
Sure.
Do you write stream of consciousness or do you outline like the storyline? You outline. See? Yes. Ooh, okay. Okay. This is personal. Oxford comma, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, thank God. No one likes it but me.
What? Listen, I'm old school. I am old school. We learned the Oxford comma way, way back.
When I'm reading and there's not an Oxford comma, I usually read the sentence twice to make sure I'm understanding it. I often write because I write for work, emails, right? Yeah. So I type and I will often leave it out. But when I reread my email, I put it back in.
I'll do that too when I'm writing because it's, when in doubt, leave it out.
Yep.
Right. So I'll do that. But then if I go back and reread it and I pause in that spot, comma goes back in.
I'm with you. Oh my God. We're like twins. Okay. Here are the serious questions. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Jersey Shore or mountains?
Ooh, okay. So that's very challenging for me. So I'm from the Jersey Shore and I love it with all my heart and soul. But right now I live on the west side of New Jersey and it's not actually, real mountains out here, but we
They're
do.
in the north, aren't they?
Yeah,
North?
they're more north of us. So like where I live is the rolling hills of New
Right.
Jersey. Um, but I love, I'm like a tree girl. I love my trees. I love them.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't answer it though.
Well, both. It's both. I either or, both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you get away with it. Springsteen or Bon Jovi?
Do I have to pick? I
You
pick
do.
Bon
It's a
Jovi.
game. No one's.
Oh.
I don't think they're going to see it. So
I have to pick. I'll pick Bon Jovi.
really, I would pick Springsteen as a
Okay.
non-Jersey girl. If I had to choose.
Sorry, not a big Bruce fan.
Are you a Benny or a local?
I'm a local for sure.
You're a local. Okay. And do you believe in the word Benny or should be? Because I learned that should be was a word too.
Yes, Benny. Where I grew up, you were a Benny if you came to our beaches.
So that's north, right? That's north. Uses
Well, I'm
Benny and
central.
south
Yeah,
uses
the Shoobies are the people that came like from Philly and went to South Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in Central Jersey in the Long Branch area, not actually far from Asbury Park, where Bruce Springsteen pretends to be from.
So if Marylanders go to Southern Jersey, are we Shoobies?
Maybe. I don't know if that was just something that they called the Philadelphia people. All I know is if you were not from where I was from and you came, for vacation or
you were a Benny.
You were a Benny. Yeah.
You're a Benny. Okay. I had to look up what Benny meant. It's for the cities. Yeah. Did you know that? You knew that. Of course you did. I'll make everybody else look it up. I'm not going to say it because I'm worried I'm going to mispronounce one of them. Okay. Most important question, pork roll or Taylor ham?
Neither.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you not eat ham at all?
Very rarely.
Okay. Well, that is not the answer. I expected that to be a doozy. And here we go.
No, but I have a favorite bagel place in Ocean Township, New Jersey. What About a Bagel? Shout out to What About a Bagel. And when I used to live there, I went all the time and got my egg whites and crispy bacon on a sesame bagel. That was like my dream lunch.
I think we called that. So I just recently worked for a bagel shop for 3 years.
Okay.
So I know my bagels.
Yeah.
We called that a skinny. I think we called that a skinny
or
something
okay.
like that. Yeah.
All right.
There's almost nothing on it. There's no cheese.
I know. I'm a very boring eater.
Are you?
That's
a whole different chat, right? About
exactly. It's a whole different combo.
Now I want to go and see what food they talk about in the book to see if I would have been able to identify it. Anyway.
Yeah.
So tonight we're going to be a little different because we're not just going to talk about one book. We're going to talk about lots of different things. Okay. But I specifically read Sea Glass Made with Second Chances, which is part of your Serenity trilogy, right? Trilogy? Yeah, series?
It's actually there's 4 books with a 5th one on the way.
So it's not over.
No.
It's not over. Wait a minute, but they're only 3 sisters.
I know, but
I can't see where do we pull from? Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, right, exactly. Where does that 4th one come from?
There's a daughter. Is that 4? The daughter?
No. There's I'll just say it because it's not really giving anything away. There's another sister. Book 4, Sea Glass Wrapped in Red. It came out in December.
Okay, so I missed that one, and I'm sorry. The first 3, wait a minute. So the first 3, March 2025, April 2025, July 2025. You're saying December 2025.
Yes.
And now 5th one. Is that the daughter? Because I feel like the daughter could get her own book. She's a girl.
Which? Oh, the teenager. No,
Yes.
Not yet. I'm like, which daughter? No, not yet. The 5th one is the aunt. So Aunt Joanna, who makes like a little appearance here and there. You see her a lot more in the 4th book, towards the end of the book. So the 5th book is really The Notebook meets The Way We Were.
Okay. Well, then 6 can be the teenager.
It could be. I would like to do.
I just gave you an idea. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll just say, I just want to credit in the book. Like, thank you, Charissa, for this brilliant idea.
I will. Absolutely.
I never would have thought of it. Yeah. Okay. So how do you write 4 books in less than a year? I've had this conversation with Ryan and I do not understand how it happens.
Okay, so the first book, See Less Made with Second Chances, was actually written and edited 2 years prior.
Okay.
And I had shopped it in a lot of places and got very close, if anybody understands traditional publishing.
Yep.
Many times I actually had an agent say to me, she couldn't sell it to a big house. I should self-publish it. I'd make more money. So that amongst some other things, I decided to self-publish this series. So that book was already written. So in 2025, I wrote 3 books. I wrote 2, 3, and 4. It's because I plot. That's why I can do that.
Well, because maybe when you're writing 3, you're like, you can subplot 4, right? You can say, oh, wait a minute, what about that Anna and that person? Or
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I can think about those things, like what would I want the next book to be about? Or if something comes up, I can say, oh, I can work that in another book, that kind of thing. So it helps. It's helpful. Yeah.
Okay. See, because a lot of authors that I write that especially are like independently published authors, they like do everything stream of consciousness. Like Ryan Hale, he says he just sits down and like it all comes out.
I'm very envious of that ability. I don't have that ability to just sit down and vomit on the page because I have written myself into a 30,000 word hole, and I was on deadline for my traditional publisher. So now it meant I had to scrap the whole 30,000 and start over.
Oh my God.
And I said, yeah, I don't have time for that. It's ended up being an 80,000 word book. So I don't have time. I write too many books. I had too many projects going on. So I know the turning points, and I usually know the black moment. And I know, because I need to know where I'm writing. So my outline is not rigid or very detailed. It can be involved, but not very detailed. It gives me the flexibility to change things about the story, but the major points pretty much stay the same.
So you know that you're going from point A to point B, but whether or not there are 3 chapters in between those 2 points or 10.
Exactly.
Right. You don't know. Exactly. You have flexibility. Okay. Yeah. How many books do you have published right now then?
I have 34 out. I have published 35, but I got my rights back on 1 and I haven't done anything with it. It just sits. I know.
That sounds like Taylor Swift kind of drama.
I wish I had Taylor Swift drama.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, right.
So how many of them are independent, like standalones versus series?
Pretty much everything is series involved, but I always write them so that you can find me anywhere, that you don't have to read them in order.
Right.
The ones I have that are with the Brotherhood Protectors world, a lot of those.
I want to talk about that later.
Yeah. A lot of those are very much standalone. Even though you might see a character or something, they're very much, this couple has this danger to deal with, and then it's the next couple has their danger to deal with.
Yeah. But they don't necessarily meet and greet.
Right. They never meet in the street, in fact. Yeah.
Are they all
that's not true. That's not true. I'm sorry.
Are all your books romance?
Yeah, technically, yes. They all fall under the romance umbrella. Yeah.
Really? So you do need to like spread your wings and do a straight thriller.
I do.
I feel like you do. Especially if it's your favorite genre to read.
I know. Well,
I can do that. I could have done that better.
Well, mystery tends to allow me to forget I'm an author, because I read to escape like everybody else does. So I like when an author can make me forget that I'm an author. And in the romance genre, I tend to edit, and I don't want to, if I start editing a book, I close it and put it aside and go on to another book. So I DNF a lot of books.
I know we've talked about this, but I wonder, what if you, is it technical? Like, could you listen to a romance and not edit it so much?
No, it'd be worse.
Really?
Be worse. Really? Yeah, because I skim too when I'm reading. I'll skim things. So let's say an author spends too long describing something, I'll just look for the dialogue and jump to that and see if we can pick it up.
Maybe you're missing all the important parts.
If I can skip it and I'm not lost, it wasn't important.
This is a whole side conversation. Okay. Back to sequence. Can you give everyone a summary of the story and then a little bit the series as a whole? You know what I mean? Like
sure.
the main anchor of the story.
Okay, so Made with Second Chances is Cassidy is my heroine. Her father has passed away and she thinks she's inheriting his tavern, which has been her whole life. To come to find out, she has to share it with her sisters that she has not been close to. And she's lied to them about what her father's last wishes were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the series is not just about Cassidy. We were saying it expands to the sisters, is how you and an aunt.
Yes. And an aunt.
And a mystery character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mystery character.
And the whole series is pretty much the theme of sea glass. What was once broken is now beautiful. So
you have a scene in there. So I always collect sea glass when I'm at the beach because I just find it cathartic, right?
Yes.
Like it's like calming and lovely.
Yeah.
And you have a scene in there where they go up and they find his sea glass collection, the dad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're like the reds. And I'm like, I've never found a red. Like, I was so jealous of that whole scene. And I think I got distracted in the story because I was like trying to visualize.
Yeah.
You said at one point she like stuck her hand in and like, you know what I mean, was doing this. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Right? Wouldn't that be awesome?
All those pieces. I don't want to pay for them. I would want to have them.
Right. Exactly. Right. Me too. I just want to have them. Exactly.
Oh gosh. Okay. I love the location and I love a book where I'm like reading it and I don't know where I am and I have to stop and look at pictures because apparently I could do a picture book. I don't know. So like I literally was like looking up the tent city. It's obviously real. I forget the name of the town, but it's called Tent City. Grove City.
Ocean Grove is the town. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's they're like blocks and blocks of cabins that don't have normal walls. How do you describe what this is?
It's the back half of it is almost like an enormous shed.
Yeah.
And that's the permanent structure. And it tends to be like the bedroom and the kitchen in the back. And then the front part of it is like a tent. It's got tent sides and a door, and that's like your living space. And then they all have the same striped awning and they have little porches and it's adorable. It's adorable.
Well, I looked it up and I was like walking around the town on Google Maps.
Yeah.
Looking at all of the different like tents. And then there's the auditorium that was real, right? That real, I don't know. Is it called the auditorium?
I think it is in Ocean Grove. It might be called the auditorium. Yeah.
And then I started looking I'm like, okay, how real is this? And I was like, there's not a blue dot, so that's made up. Right. But this is the illness I have. I'm on Google Maps looking at all the bars in the area to see if I can find a bar that inspired the blue dot. That's what I did.
Yeah, that one was all in my head. I just made that up. Yeah.
For it, Stacey.
What's that?
I looked for it. I looked hard.
Yeah, that one's fake.
How much, like when you're writing a book that takes place in a real place, and I don't know how many of your books do, how do you decide which are the real elements you're pulling and which you make up?
Well, okay, it helps that I'm from that area, so I know it very well. So I picked the things that were unique, like the tent city, which I gave a different name because I can't really use that name. And an auditorium, which could be really in any town. And then like, I don't know if it's in that book, but in some of the other books, I talk about the hospital where someone has to go to the hospital. And I can see in my head the actual hospital, but I don't really like give you the details. And then there are 2 hospitals down there. I actually mix them up in my description. So like, so it's my hospital based on those 2, or inspired by, I can't say based by, inspired by. So I just pick the things that are unique, and then everything else I make up everything. I really do. Like the bakery is made up.
I was going to ask about that.
Now here's where there is some truth. Our Mr. D is my grandfather. My grandfather came to this country much earlier than the 70s. Yeah. That's his name. Giovanni DeFazio is my grandfather's name. And he was a baker, and he used to own a bakery, not in Ocean Grove, but he owned one down there in Long Branch. And he's my favorite person. Well, he's gone now, but he was my favorite person on the planet. So, that's real.
Yeah.
My grandfather had just my mother. There's no sons. I have no uncles.
Wow.
My grandmother is not Sophia. You haven't met her yet. She shows up quite a bit in book 3. Well, she's part of the book club.
Sick with this illness of location that I might have spent some insomnia hours zooming in to try to find a house that had the kind of yard that you described that they lived in. Because I'm like, there's no room for a fire pit in these backyards. And then you had the neighbor who would watch them from her house. I'm like,
yes,
literally, I have a problem. I'm like, like this on the map, going, no, it's not that backyard.
No, that is all made up. No. But in that area,
picking up. But I don't know why I thought it was all real now.
It's all made up. I love though that you went looking. I love that.
Such an illness. It's such an illness.
No, I think that's awesome.
To look at, right? It's like in this foreign land. I can't zoom in on a map in a fantasy book.
Right.
So, I do love a map. I love a map. Okay. So what I really liked about your writing, and I'm curious if you do it everywhere, is this story has parallel storylines, but not in the way that historical fiction does it, right? So historical fiction, it's like, 1920, 1980, 1920, 1980, right?
Right.
You had the main romance story, which is Cassidy and Grant.
Yep.
But then there was the angst between the sisters and the lying, and they're kind of estranged. And then there was the business. And it was like this rhythm of like push-pull, like, oh, this is Cassidy and Grant, and like, oh, they're pining for each other. Does anyone say pining anymore?
I do.
Pining for each other, yeah. And like, oh, but now there's a leak at the business. And now the sisters mad at each other. So like it was constantly like doing this. And I was like, well, isn't that crafty, right? Because I was kind of like being pushed and pulled through. And I was wondering, like, A, how you manage that rhythm so well. And then like B, is that kind of your style? Like, would I expect that in your books?
Yes. So thank you for that. I appreciate the compliment. And yes, that is my style. So you will see that in all my books. My philosophy is there's never enough conflict for your main characters. And I like to drive the bus over them and make them as uncomfortable as possible.
One of my least, so I'm a relatively new romance reader, and I say that, but I've been reading romance now for 2 or 3 years, so I don't know who I am. But I'm also very literal. And one of the things that gets me is that like missed connection bit, or like the missing statement or the thing that's left unsaid and someone misinterprets it the wrong way. Girl, I get buggy. I get like itchy and scratchy and like jittery.
Yeah.
Like, he says something to her and she's like, I can't believe he insulted me like that. And I was like, girl, he loves you.
Right.
Like, I don't know how you make a romance without it, unless it's like slow burn. But like that, it wears me out.
Yeah.
It wears me out. I'm like, come on, people. He was just looking at your lips. How could you take that the wrong way?
Anything that's there should be deliberate, right? It should be on purpose. So if he's going to misunderstand her, there has to be a very compelling reason for her to misunderstand him, or vice versa, or whatever. Right. And it's also, I don't read straight up contemporary romances, because the only question is, will they or won't they get together? And if you don't give me something to sink my teeth into besides will they, won't they get together,
Yeah.
I know they're going to get together. It's a romance. That's the guarantee. It's a happily ever after. Otherwise, it's not a romance.
Is there a new genre where they just don't?
Well, technically, you're not supposed to call it a romance. So.
Well, they still are romantic, and then they just don't. Like, what would that be called?
Something else.
Yeah, I know.
Anything else. Pick a genre.
I guess as romance readers, though, we rely on it, right? We rely on the happy ending because it's not predictable in that it's boring, but it makes us feel good.
Yes, exactly.
Given the best, everything can turn out well.
Yes, exactly. So in my books, I will always, I don't want to give my endings away, but I will 99% of the time give you the happily ever after or the happily for now, certainly, in that piece of it. But I don't always give them everything they want, because that's not real life either. So they may lose the business. They may not have a friendship with someone anymore. They may not get to live where they want to live, or, I can't fit.
The guy or the girl.
What's that?
But at least they got the guy.
Exactly. At least they got the guy or the girl. So you get that, and you can get that warm and, squishy feeling from that. But, I like to make people uncomfortable. Make my characters uncomfortable.
I'm going to read your books with a whole different set of sunglasses on. You know what I mean? Be like, yeah, that part she mentioned. Does the process of generating new storylines get easier or harder? Because I feel like after 34, 35 books, you're like, I've already done a firefighter. Like, I've already done the musician.
Yes. Sometimes act part can get challenging. Like, what are they going to do now? Like, what is this character going to be? And I will, if it's not in the same series, then I will be like, I don't have a musician in this series. And I tend to write musicians. I really wonder I think it goes back to high school when I used to write rock star romances in my binder. Yeah.
Did you marry a rock star?
I did. I was also madly in love with Alex Van Halen at 14. So yeah, I know it's my age. So,
me too. I'm right there.
Okay, good. Yeah. So I loved the whole scene, and I hated biology class because I hate science. And so I would write my romance stories about, rock stars and being on tour and all that cool stuff that seemed very cool at the time. And so that might be why too I lean on that musician. So I'm like, I got to take a break from the musicians.
Well, so you hate science, so none of them are science teachers? No science
No one is a science teacher, but I do have a meteorologist.
Oh, okay. That's one of my side hustle. No, that's not the right phrase. Dream careers that I could have done. When you look back and you're like, I could have done that.
Yes.
I think I would have been a good meteorologist.
Very cool.
Yeah. No science teachers. Okay. Well, see, another challenge.
Exactly. Maybe I'll do one.
Yeah.
I have a high school principal. I do have that.
Ooh, okay. Ooh. Okay. So never mind. Which I was going to go down a whole rabbit hole of that one, but how long do we want to be here? We'll be here.
I know.
Well, that was one of my questions. That was, where does the inspiration come from? So obviously the Serenity series is here now, live, active, in progress.
Right.
Do you already have a book of 5 other couplings that you're dreaming up, or do you watch a movie or see a couple on the street and go,
It's all of those things. It's all of them. I can see something. I can have an idea sitting in my head for a while, like this Sea Glass 5. There was this older couple in my head for the longest time. They were older. He was in a hospital. Oh. And they kept showing up. And so now I'm writing their story. So sometimes it happens that way. They just they're noisy. It's a little insanity.
Well, I love that all of your characters are older. I don't want to say all of them. You probably have some young ones in there, but
I really don't. Not as a main character anyway.
because I think I got into romance with romantasy because, it became hot and everybody was reading Fourth Wing. Which
Yeah.
is great, in case anyone ever watches this. It was wonderful. But I'm like, okay, these are usually pretty PG. Do 20-year-olds really have sex like that? I mean,
I don't know.
right?
I don't
So
want to
like,
know.
come on, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, it gets everyone excited. But my
Right.
point is, when it's like middle-agey or whatever people, I'm like, it just feels real. It feels like relatable.
Well, right. Like that is who I relate to is, I mean, even though I'm creeping up past middle age now, but I relate to that middle-aged woman who has the teenager or the young adult, or because it wasn't all that long ago that my children were teenagers. And when you get to that crossroad in your life and you look around and go, is this all there is? Is there more? Did I make the right decisions? I think a lot of women face that at those points, whether it's the start of perimenopause or whatever. And so that's the woman I relate to. And the woman who needs to start over, wants to start over, was forced into starting
scared
over.
to start over.
Exactly, is scared. But again, like circumstance, because I'll do that to her too. I put her in a circumstance she doesn't want to be in. And she has to make a choice, probably one she doesn't like and one that scares her, but it's the one that makes her grow as well.
Which is a nice little hat tip to women, that we can grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That when we get to the big 5-0, we're not baked.
Exactly. It's not over. Yeah. Exactly. It's not, even if it feels like it really, and you can find love at that age too. Why is it that a 50-year-old can't be in love? Like I have a 50-year-old couple in one of my books. Why can't a 50-year-old woman be in love? Why not?
Well, and it looks different than when you were 20. Right?
Exactly. And now that I have kids in their 20s, I don't want to write about them. That is weird to me. So
yeah. Well, your 50-year-old couple, is he also a musician?
No, he is like a Grizzly Adams. See, now that was another thing. I had this guy in my head. He's the father of 2 other characters in that series.
Oh.
And he needed to have a book. So he lived off the grid. He was an off the grid kind of guy. They lived in a cabin up the hill. And he and this woman who is high heels and Tool both are they both inherit the same mansion, and he wants to restore it and keep it, and she wants to sell it.
Yeah. So, they're at the same mansion.
They're at the same mansion.
Only.
I know. I know.
See how you're putting them in discomfort.
Yeah. Well, he's in discomfort because he doesn't like all that modern stuff. And in his cabin, he doesn't even have a bathroom. He has an outhouse. So
unacceptable.
Now,
that's where I draw the line.
Me too. No,
I draw the line at potty.
Right? Electricity in a bathroom must be there.
We camp, and I always said, we have a camper, like a travel trailer.
Yeah.
And our mattress was very expensive. Very expensive. Because I require sleep. I'm not going to have fun in the woods if I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
No, draw a line. So how do you keep from repeating yourself? Do you ever start down a romance and you're and then they went to a cabin. You're like, oh shit, I did that. I've done that.
Yes, I have to be careful about that. Yeah. Again, in the same series, it's more important than in other series because it just by the nature of the book, it'll be different and the nature of the characters. But I also, because I start with character, that also helps determine their choices and who they are and where they go and why they do something. So that helps keep it different. But I have people who work at the same orchard. So I have to, maybe one book you're in the orchard more than the other book, but they work together, that kind of thing.
So are all the topics things like you said orchard, or do you have to then go research?
Oh, I do a lot of research.
What's it called when you put a branch on a tree? What's it called?
Oh, grafting?
That's it.
Yes.
I saw a reel.
You'll learn.
It's very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, because we all get caught up in Facebook reels. But yeah, but I mean, I imagine like you started off with the stories that were comfortable topics, right? The music, and then
Well, I'm trying to think.
you've got to buy.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe I did. Like when I think about what is now The Risk for House and Home, it was published as a Second Chance House. It's in a town in Tennessee, no town I've ever been in. I just made it all up. But she was from New Jersey, and I needed to put her in a place she was unfamiliar with.
Yeah.
And she's been gifted a house, but it needs to be renovated. So, that's not
houses. I want a house.
What's that?
I want a house. How are these people getting houses?
Right? I know.
I mean,
she was given an anonymous gift. What's that?
Cassidy gets a house and a business.
That is true.
It's a cabin.
Yeah. That's true. That is true. Yeah, you're right. Cassidy can't keep the house though. They have to sell it.
That's true.
Afford it.
That's true.
It's all mortgaged up there because Dad wasn't really very good with his money.
No, he was not very good, but we don't want to give anything away.
No.
Decide who gets their own story.
That's a good question. It depends on how loud they are.
Oh,
yeah.
Like in your head.
In my head, or if they show up on the page, like if they're secondary characters. So like in my Heritage River series, which is where The Risk for House and Home is.
Yeah.
The hero in that book has a brother. More rock stars, by the way. Those were my first adult written rock stars. And there's a scene in the book where the brother tells off the hero's ex-wife. And in that second, I went, he's getting a book.
Oh. Well, I guess
so sometimes it's
draw from why he's so angry or
yes,
where the rage is coming from, right? Like we all have inner stuff. And then you're like, well, that's enough rage that he has to be able to tell why he got there or how he
exactly. And then exactly. So now we deal with that. Why is he angry, which is part of his character arc, and what he does with that anger. And then how do I make the heroine fuel that anger? That's your push and pull. Wow. And then I have to make him be in situations where he gets angry. So, there's all of that going on.
How many characters are in this family tree of yours? I mean, really?
Well, in the Sea Glass books.
No, I mean, like if you were to back up.
Oh, a lot. I have a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
there's a lot.
That. Like, if every book has 20 characters, 30, I don't know. Right? Like time.
Yeah.
34 or 5.
Yeah. I keep a list so I can go back and see, like who's the secretary at the high school and
you can pull from it.
Yeah.
Ryan is watching. I don't know if you know Ryan Hale. He's in Charm City Readers.
Hi Ryan.
Yeah, he's in Texas. Ooh. And we're good friends. I interviewed him on this whole mystery series like last year, like through to the launch of his like latest.
Very cool.
But he says your covers are very unique in the contemporary romance genre. How do you choose cover art? I didn't even have that one.
I have a cover artist. If we're talking about the Sea Glass books and the Heritage River books, my cover artist is phenomenal. So I just say to her, this is what I'm thinking. And then she comes back with what she has come back with. So she's phenomenal. She was actually my cover artist with my traditional publisher, and she had left to go out on her own. So I followed her out the door. And
that's good. I mean, hey, Ryan says hi, but like, I think it's very important for independent authors to share, I don't want to say share resources, but like, if someone likes your cover, we want the cover artist to continue to be able to make covers.
Absolutely, of course. Absolutely.
Like
if they're taking on clients, why wouldn't you? I mean, I would, if somebody said, can I have her information? I would just check with her to make sure she was taking on clients. And then of course I would give out her email address in a second, because I don't want her to tell me I can't do this anymore. I have to go get a day job.
Right. So, well, and it's hard to be a designer. And I imagine cover art is a whole different beast, but it's
Right.
so hard to be independent and a designer, like freelancing.
Exactly.
Can we talk about the Brotherhood Protectors world? Because I was reading about it and fascinated by the concept.
Yeah.
That it's a world that someone else has built, and then other authors come in and put stories in it. Tell me how this works.
Yes. So that's exactly really it. Someone had created her own world, the Brotherhood Protectors, and it had actually started way back when Kindle had Kindle Worlds, if you're familiar with that, about 10 years ago. So Kindle went to authors that had big followings with lots of books, and said, would you want to be in our Kindle world? And then authors could apply to write in that world too. So, about 5 minutes, literally, after I got into Kindle Worlds, Amazon shut it down.
You're like, I'm in. Wait, what?
Yeah. The day my first book released, Amazon announced they were shutting down Kindle Worlds, literally. I had a #1 new release with the little orange flag. That day, the email went out. So, L. James, who is the owner of Twisted Pages Press and the Brotherhood Protectors world, she decided to become her own publisher and continued the world. So, you have to, as an author that writes for her, you have to have some of the brotherhood in your story. And then she shares marketing with you. So it's a little like a unique publisher author relationship. So she markets with you and promotes with you, and then you create the story.
What's the toolkit, though, to present a world that's pre-built to an author to write in?
She has a Bible, and she has a list of her main characters. And then I haven't seen it in a long time because I haven't needed to, but she'll have like the books, the main characters, descriptions of those main characters, mainly the Brotherhood and whoever their romance is, the Brotherhood Protector guy, and then his main romance, and then some key information from those books. So you can use any of those characters in what I'm gonna give a secret out. What I did in my first 5 to 6 books, because the 6th book was I had it with someone else, got my rights back, and put it over their Brotherhood. So really, when I started out, what I was doing, because I was newer at this, and I can't write in someone else's voice. It's just not something I can do. I can only write as me. So what I did was I took the main guy who created the Brotherhood Protectors, and I let him show up a little bit in each of the first 4 or 5 books. And then I don't even remember what I did with the 6th book. And then I built my own Brotherhood team, so that in the next book, I took the guy, my hero from book 1, and her character in book. That's how we start book 2. And then that's how we start book 3. And they're the same team. Because the other thing is, if and when I get my rights back, I have to remove all of the Brotherhood stuff.
Oh, wow.
So I also wanted to make it as simple for me to remove. Now my last 4 books, I have 10 with them. My last 4 books were special projects. Those books are of the Brotherhood world are my favorite, my last 4. In the special project, she put a group of 5 authors together. And as a 5, we created a Brotherhood Protector team with 5 men. Or some of the special projects have women, but mine don't. And what their story is. So I have a firefighter, They're all firefighters, but mine is a wildland firefighter because I always
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to write one. I am obsessed with wildland firefighters.
Noted.
So yeah, I saw that movie and I
should have invited one on here just to say hi to you, like in the full gear.
Oh, that would be very cool. I've only
Next
met
time.
one once.
Next
Yeah, I'm obsessed. So so then we try to include each other's characters as well. Like, say, if somebody needs to be saved, the other guys might come in. And so the readers get to have a bit of a crossover. They get to see each guy in the 5 books, and all 5 were released on the same day. But I have 4 of those. Each team is very different than the other team.
I find this fascinating. Like anytime authors collaborate, and I love that Ryan's on here because I tried to set him up with our friend Katie, who also writes mysteries. I was like, you guys should do, but I find it fascinating because it must be so entirely difficult. I mean,
it can be.
I mean, not just the storytelling, because you're like, I think it should go this way, and I think it should go this way, or grammar, or like, I mean, like, how do you match?
Well, here's what we did, and I'm grateful for the projects this way. We came up with a cohesive backstory. So it would be how these 5 men came to the Brotherhood and how they know each other. Now I have a friend who was in the group, so her and I could meet on the side and say, oh, they were friends in college,
right? Or
they were friends in the military together. And we could build their backstory tighter because this was my friend. But we agree on a team backstory, what brought them to the Brotherhood. And then everybody goes and writes their own book. That's pretty much how it goes. And we had an order for each release. So you maybe could set up the next book if you wanted to do that, or not. I didn't, I'll be honest. My book ends, and wherever the next book starts is where it starts. Because again, I didn't have a say in who was in this group. So the people do have very different writing styles and ideas on plot. And my philosophy was not my book, not my worry. So
okay. I think I need to at some point. I'm always talking about, and I really need to do it, like getting authors together in a moderated chat where we talk about topics. And I think collaborative work might be an interesting one. Like, you know, you guys can all be like, well, I had this one author, and I won't mention her name, but she was a work with. Because I just think, like, how hard that must be. Like, that's all
it can be. It's very challenging. It can be very, very challenging. And there's not a lot you can do about it.
Right.
Like, right. Even if you try to say to this author, maybe the grammar is not correct, or that's inaccurate information. Right. If they don't care or they think they're right, then that's that. So in those worlds, I just stuck to, this is the backstory of the team.
Yeah.
And I'm going to write my own story.
Your own story.
Yeah.
We're almost at 50 minutes, girl. I don't know how that happened. I got like half a deck of cards left to talk about topics with you.
We're having fun.
Do this again. Right now I need to read something and we'll talk again. But I wanted to touch on the fact that you DNF so much. And I didn't want to, because I find it interesting. Like, what is the technical or craft error that drives that? You and I talked about like the first, would you say like 20 minutes or 20 pages or 40 minutes or 40 pages? Like, fascinating. And then do you try to, like, you tell me that, and then I want to know, like, do you hold your own books to that same account? Like, do you go back and edit to make sure you're not breaking those rules?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I do that in all avenues of my life. If I'm holding you to that standard, I'm holding me to that standard
Yep.
too. Yes. So it's usually, it is a mechanical thing. It's a craft thing where maybe it's too much backstory in the beginning and you didn't give me a chance to care about this character, but you have now told me about the 5 last relationships they've had, where on page 2, I don't care about. And that's if I do this, that's backstory. Well, now I want to know where your editor is who didn't red pen you and tell you to move that. Or, if your inciting incident hasn't happened and we're on page 50, what are you waiting for? This is taking too long. And even when you're world building, which I know takes some time, there are still ways to insert what you need into the right places. That's why I always say when I'm teaching a class, your words have to work very hard for you. Every single word must work hard.
Yeah.
So you can't, I know people love the sound of their own voice, but you have to be thinking about what drives the story forward. So exposition is not action. Action drives the story forward. Conflict is action. If there is no conflict in a scene, nothing has happened. So if you are going to keep having those, like I know mysteries will do this sometimes and thrillers, where after all the running around, they sit down at the diner and rehash everything we've already read. I don't need you to rehash everything. I just read it. Right. So you have to think about those. Again, these are all mechanical things that sometimes readers don't see, or it'll be silly things like if you've used the same word 3 times in a paragraph, I start counting. Right. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, how many times? Where's your editor? Where is your editor who should have picked this up? Now, if it happens once, fine. If it happens on every 3 or 4 pages, then I'm like, it's too many times.
I like how you said about rehashing, because I notice, and I never had like a term for it, when the main character tells us some backstory, and in the next chapter they're sitting down with someone and they'll say, well, I just told her everything, and I'm like, oh, I know what that is, right? But they didn't retell it.
Yes.
And I know that's how. Yes, like, oh, that was one sentence of bringing me up to speed on where they are.
Like, exactly. And that's how you do it, right? Yeah. Because the reader already knows it. So I not that long ago read a book where the author would have something happen, then the main character would tell this person and then tell this person, and then I'm like, oh my God, what is happening in this book?
But the book has a lot of words.
Yes.
They met the word count.
Exactly. They made their word count.
But I can imagine that like early writers could get into some of those, I don't want to call them traps, but like, because you don't know what you don't know. Right.
Absolutely.
Like, and then as you hone your craft, you kind of get better at pointing those things out and seeing them. Because to your point, everyone loves the sound of their own voice. They're your words, they're your children, right? So like, oh, I have to cut that whole bit, but I love how you explained it,
Right. Right, exactly. Yeah. You're going to love the word you used or whatever, but you have to delete it. Like it doesn't belong there. Yeah. I literally create a deleted scenes file, like a document, so that I don't feel as badly about when I have to chop 1,500 words out of a scene. I put it into the other document. So every book has a deleted scenes document. I will have you know I have never gone back and retrieved anything out of them, but it's there and it's not completely deleted, so I don't feel as badly about it. And
I love that. No, I'm an overachiever, so I get that. Like you don't actually backspace all those words you put love into. They're just shared.
Exactly. Exactly.
I want to read them now. Right. I want you to publish the deleted scenes on every book I read of yours. So I'll like, think about it. She wasn't wrong. That was
exactly. That is really what you'll say. She was not wrong about this.
Right. She wasn't wrong. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about so many more things, but we have to schedule another chat.
Okay. I'm ready when you are.
I don't know how we got here. I want you to have a couple minutes so to talk about your event next summer, because I think that's really, really cool. And I got invited to the group. Thank you.
Well,
and there are 150 authors coming.
100 authors, 100.
Oh, I felt like, I don't know. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, 100.
Holy cow. I mean, so do your elevator pitch. Like, what is this event? What can people expect? Why should they buy tickets? All of the things.
Okay. So first of all, it is the only event like it in New Jersey. We don't have anything like this. It is a 2-day multi-genre event, reader focused. It's a total reader conference. Friday and Saturday, August 20th and 21st of 2027 at the APA Hotel in Islin, New Jersey. Right off, it's easy to get to, train, plane, and car. The train station is 2 blocks away. New York City is 30 minutes away. It's an ideal spot. You can do all kinds of things. Friday is going to be reader-focused workshops and panels all day long. Then we have a murder mystery dinner written by and acted out by authors.
Ooh.
We have a VIP exclusive experience for VIP ticket holders. So Saturday morning, there is a VIP author meet and greet breakfast where they get a commemorative poster signed by all of the authors, a photo op. There's going to be special VIP swag, some other fun VIP stuff we've got going. They get to come into the book signing an hour early on Saturday. There's a book signing with all the authors in the room. The whole event is designed for readers and authors to connect on a better level than just on opposite sides of the table.
I love it. I can't wait to see when you start getting, because of course we're coming. I asked my husband the other day, I was like,
oh, good.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
Next August.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
I'm going to take off on Friday and Saturday and go to Jersey for a reader thing. Cool. And he was like, okay. And I was like, good.
Whoa.
You can't, it doesn't matter that you have the dates. Like nobody knows what they're doing that day. So
right.
I just had to, like throw it out there. And then he said yes and no problem. And now I'm coming.
Good. Awesome.
But no, when you have like the chats or whatever on Friday, I would love to like read through them and like mentally get my brain prepared for all of that. So
yes, once we have all of the workshops, we are not there yet. That's going to be that's a little long of a process, but once we have it, and we will have it in advance, that will go up on the website so that everybody can see the workshop and the description, who the authors are giving the workshop, or if it's a panel discussion. Yep. And we will have a program for everybody at the event with the workshop schedule as well. So you can see what's happening at what time and what room it's in, and it'll be all laid out for everybody.
So what's it called? And give the dates again, and where can people find information?
Okay, so it's called Sorry, I'm Booked Readers Conference 2027. And it's August 20th, 21st of 2027. And you can find us at, isn't this terrible? We have the worst URL. It is sorryimbooked.readerscon.com.
It's a lot of words.
Yeah.
You can get SIBRC.com.
Everything was taken. Everything. We tried every combination.
Yeah, I bet you did.
We really did. I was so bummed. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is all taken. So it would have been like sib.org or .net. And I was like, nah, we'll just spell it all out. So,
and then, you only get it wrong if you can't spell. So it's perfect.
Right.
Right.
Or if you go too fast.
And where can people find you, Stacey?
I am at staceywilk.com. You can find everything out about me. All my books are there. Links to all my social media is there, but I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I have an Amazon author page. You can find my books at bookshop.org. I'm all over the place.
Are you on Book Talk?
I am not. That is the one place I am not.
Online somewhere. Like I'd like to read books, not just be on social media, but at our age, I think all the kids are on Book Talk.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ryan. Thank you for all your comments. I only read half of them, but I will give them to Stacey afterwards because Ryan
Yeah.
did us for the whole event, and we had a number of people who did. So
Awesome.
thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Stacey.
Thank you so
Good
much for
again.
having me. So much fun. It was a total joy to be here with you. Thank
Well, and we
you.
have so much more to talk about, apparently.
Yes.
I have cards. I have questions.
Good. Bring them.
All right. Bye, everyone. You stay on with me, Stacey.
Okay.
It always takes a few minutes to log out. So
Okay. Sure.
smile and look